Okay, I have a little saying that I came up with for this homily, and I want you to be repeating it a couple times through the homily. So the saying is, end division, mind your mission. Do you say that after me? End division, mind your mission. I'm doing that because I might forget. End division, mind your mission. St. Paul, in the second reading, he's realizing as he writes this letter to the Thessalonians that he says there's disorderly conduct among you. So he's naming that there is division in the community. And then he explains why there's division. He's saying that there are some people, not to point any fingers, but there are some people, he says, that are not doing their work silently, but they're kind of meddling in other people's work. They're talking about other people as opposed to doing their own work silently. So Paul is wanting them to end division, mind your mission. I think one of the clearest examples of a meddler, somebody that gets in other people's business and causes division, is something about Raymond. You guys ever seen that? Okay, who's the number one meddler in something about Raymond? Marie, yeah. So the whole, basically 90% of all those episodes is because Marie meddles in the family, and it causes all those division. And it's funny, right? Usually things are funny because they're true. Like, we've all experienced people meddling, right? And St. Paul is trying to help us to realize that sometimes we meddle in other people's business. Sometimes we spend too much time talking about other people. So one of the episodes is the little boy Michael, Ray's son. It's story time at the school, and the kids are supposed to write their own story. And so the whole family is there, and a couple kids, they give their stories, and they're very sweet and very cute. And then the little boy Michael gets up there, and he holds up his book, and the title of the book is The Angry Family. And so each page of the book is talking about his family and how angry they are. And he's saying that each one is fighting. The mother is fighting with the mother-in-law, and the brother, Ray's fighting with his wife, and the brother steps in at one point. And so the parents are obviously horrified as they're watching the angry family unfold in front of them. And so they're encouraged to go and talk to their priest. And so Father, who's assigned to that school, he's meeting with the family, and he sits down with the family, and he's just like, this is one more thing I don't want to have to deal with, right? And so they start talking, and as they're talking, right in front of Father, they begin to bicker, right? So Marie starts talking about, who's the wife? Deborah. Yeah, so Deborah starts talking about her mother-in-law, how she's always getting involved in the family, and Ray never stands up for her, and then Ray says something, and then the brother jumps in, and then the grandfather jumps in, and right in front of the priest's eyes, like the family is breaking out into the angry family. And he realizes why. Because they're meddling. And the solution to meddling is what? End division, mind your mission. And so a lot of the tension in our own families and our own communities and marriage and parenting and the parish and the greater world is because people aren't minding their own mission. And because of that, they're causing division. A lot of recovery groups have a couple phrases that they say. One of the phrases is stay in your own lane. What that means is just worry about the lane ahead of you. Don't get involved in the other lane. Stay in your own lane. Another line that they use is keep your side of the street clean. Like, don't worry about the neighbors, don't worry about anybody else, but keep our side of the street clean. And what that means is, all that matters really in our lives is that we mind our mission. Like, God has given each and every one of us a mission. And I want you to think about the end of your life. If you were to die tomorrow, would you have fulfilled your mission on earth? Do you even know what your mission is? God has given each and every one of you a mission. And the most important thing we can do to be holy is to discover, God, what is the mission that you have given to me? And if we find ourselves meddling in other people's missions or trying to tell other people how to do their work, we find ourselves falling into that trap that St. Paul is talking about. Instead of bringing about unity, we bring about disorder. And he very much wants us to be aware that each of us is to work out, to labor, to toil in our mission. And he says, do so quietly. Like, don't look for other people even to affirm it. Just work about our mission, knowing what we're supposed to do, and stay focused on that. And so if you want to end the division in your own heart, what do?
Mind your mission.
Mind your mission. If you want to have unity in your whole family, what do? End division, mind your mission. If you want to get along with your mother-in-law or your kids, what do? End division, mind your mission. We want to have unity in this parish. What do? End division, mind your mission. Now, there's going to be opportunities throughout the week that this is going to happen to you, I promise. Like, there's going to be opportunities where you're going to be like, oh, I can't stand this person. And you know what I find? Like, when we start doing that, first we can't stand this person, and then we can't stand this person, and then we can't stand these people. And before you know it, we're giving so much time and energy to other people. And we're letting other people and their missions take up space in our head, and we have a limited amount of energy. And St. Paul wants us to know, focus on your mission. Do so quietly. Do so without looking at other people or condemning other people or correcting other people or telling them how they should do their mission. The best thing that we can do when we experience this tension in our life is end division, mind your mission.